so happy to welcome you here. First of all, thank you to our sponsor, our presenting sponsor, U.S. Bank. They've been a wonderful partner of ours for many, many years. And we have, I think Myra is here. Myra from U.S. Bank? Hello, hi. Thank you, and we really appreciate our partnership over these many years. You know, we're so happy to be celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Of course, the origin was LBJ. President Johnson was signed into legislation, and a few years later, Ronald Reagan expanded it to a month. So there is some bipartisan work once in a while, and we're so happy that you're here to appreciate this wonderful time for Latinos. And I want to go back into history a little bit about this event, about La Familia. And Steve, if you will, here was our first La Familia, this year 2003. We're at the River Center. Now at the time, I was a commissioner on the newly built River Center, and my job on the board was the multicultural marketing, bringing more events from our multicultural communities. So I thought, well, let me put my money where my mouth is, and I produced this event. Here's the reason. Most of our Latino events are outdoors. Sometimes our vendors, our sponsors, they're always looking for our people to learn more about their businesses. Outdoors is a little tricky. My thought was, why don't we go indoors? I know that when I go to an expo, I'm apt to go to most of the booths and grab information, not so much outside. So the idea was, let's bring in the vendors. And at the time, Aguilar Productions had already been in business 6 years producing Hispanic marketing conferences. I had a lot of sponsors. They were all interested. And this is 62,000 square feet, ladies and gentlemen, for our first expo. But it was a marvelous turnout. We had so much interest. Our vendors, most of them, were so happy with the results. You know, a lot of contacts, a lot of names. So we were more than pleased, and that was the beginning. We also started the La Familia Awards. And here's the wonderful folks that were our first recipients. You know, you might recognize some of these people. Starting in the back here with Genevieve Morales. Genevieve Morales was very active with many statewide organizations. You know, just a wonderful, wonderful lady. Joe Medina, World War II hero, band leader, successful businessman, and the founder of the Mexican American Veterans Association. The bottom row, Irene Gomez Bethke, Jesse Bethke's mother. She was the first Latina Human Rights Commissioner. In the center, a good friend of mine from St. Paul, Tomasa Castillo. And Tomasa was just a wonderful lady. She wouldn't take no for an answer. That was her MO. And because of her, they started the West Side Health Clinic. It was a great gal. And then I always call Mommy the leader of the Puerto Rican community. Of course, this is Elsa Vega Perez's mother, Caita. Yes. How about a hand for these people, wonderful people. You know, most of them have passed, but they left a wonderful legacy. Our good friends on the left, Congressman Mark Kennedy, and our good friend, Secretary of State Mary Kiffmeyer. And this was during the Governor Pawlenty administration. So it was a wonderful start for our celebration. And here we are, 22 years later, still with the event, still honoring people. It's been a real pleasure. So we produced this next piece you're going to see, because a lot of people aren't familiar with the countries that make up the Hispanic community. So we put together this piece, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. Steve? can clap if you want for your country. Costa Rica.
Niña, niña de mi cuento, ven y di que te vas,
Whoa.
aunque ya no estés aquí, aunque sea de lejos. Niña, niña del misterio,
México.
sal de mí, borra el tiempo que está quieto en la pared, como una sombra más.
Hey.
Imagínate que me voy muriendo. Imagínate, ya no estoy, te quiero.
Hey.
Imagínate que me voy muriendo. Imagínate, ya no estoy, te quiero. De mis sueños, yo te vi sobre el mar, blanca y desnuda, sobre mí tú vas, sobre ti yo vuelvo. Niña, 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 niña de mi sexo, sé que vas a jugar con mis dos manos, sé que no dirás eso que yo quiero. Imagínate que me voy muriendo. Imagínate que ya no estoy, te quiero. Imagínate que me voy muriendo. Imagínate que ya no estoy, te quiero.
Thank you. Yeah, it has a lot of wear and tear, that piece. We put that together 22 years ago. It still has legs. Change the songs once in a while, but yeah, it's a very important time for Latinos. Of course, it's a challenging time, really. We're the largest minority in the country, and we will be for many, many years. And it's upon us to have to grow our leadership capabilities. And I know if we take a look at last week, we had a wonderful conference here, LeaderCom, which is I think it's really to encourage our Latino youth, the growing Latino community here, about taking leadership, about getting involved in the community. And nationwide, we have a group here that just attended a great event in San Diego with Gary Acosta, who was here with us in May, talking about the building wealth for Latinos in this country these are important conferences. This is what the rest of the country expects out of Latinos. And we need to be leaders. We need to be involved in the economy. Yes, we need to be involved in politics. And so I think that as we look at our recipients here tonight, we talk about that leadership. And, I've always been one to think, and it's been my experience, that it's great to be part of the Latino organizations. It really is. But sometimes we have to expand. There's a wonderful, the Twin Cities social life is volunteering. I've been involved there. You meet so many wonderful people. And these are the general market organizations, the Red Cross, the Girl Scouts, the foundations, the chambers of commerce. We have to be there. And over the years, as we talk about Hispanic Heritage Month, we have taken up that challenge. Just a few names. And these ladies actually started volunteering with Hispanic organizations. But yet, I think in the end, years went by, they thought, well, I want to expand into some of the general market communities and some of the general market organizations, and they did. And a couple come to mind. Let's talk about Esperanza Guerrero Anderson. Esperanza became the first director of MEDA, the Metropolitan Economic Development Association, a very powerful group. She was the first Latina. She earned her way there. So it was a breakthrough. But she decided, I want to be involved in the general community. Sandy Vargas. Sandy and I were part of the team that founded the first Hispanic Chamber of Commerce here in Minnesota back in the 80s. She went on to lead the Minneapolis Foundation, a $1 billion foundation. And she was a remarkable gal. But again, she decided, I want to be part of the leadership. And boy, just those two ladies alone broke so many stereotypes, because all these wonderful people on these boards had a chance to work with Latinos. They had a chance to experience their leadership capabilities. And here tonight is another wonderful, wonderful woman who has kind of led the charge there, Amalia Moreno Damgard. And she's here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, our Twin Cities' favorite chef, yes. But all the wonderful work she's doing with the National Association of Women Business Owners, yeah, it's amazing. And I think we can all say it's challenging. We're just talking about women. There are some men, and I guess I'll talk about my own experience. Again, we started the first Latino Chamber of Commerce. It was very successful. Sandy Vargas was on there, Alberto Quintela, so many young, talented people, and we had a great success with that program. We were Chamber of the Year nationally with the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and we were doing wonderful things. But about 1992, we decided, we have to go and join the general market communities and join the general market organizations. And we decided to do that. We disbanded the Chamber of Commerce. We all went our different ways. I went on to get on the Girl Scout board. Our Latino girls were part of that wonderful program. And so I got on the board. I led up the diversity efforts. And today, that's one of the best chapters for diversity in the country. And next to Red Cross. But I think I made my decision to join the St. Paul Area Chamber Board of Directors, because at the same time, we were going to start the Hispanic Marketing Conferences. This was 1996. I said, what better way? I'm on the board. The board is made up of companies that I want to have them become interested in Hispanic marketing. It was a great success. And I'm proud to say that years later, the year 2000, I was the first Latino to chair a major chamber in the history of Minnesota, the St. Paul Area Chamber of Commerce. Thank you. And by the way, we earned it. We earned it. We did so much work, and I was chair of the year they opened the Civic Center, NHL hockey. Norm Coleman was the mayor. It was a great time. And so the first recipient of our award tonight is a wonderful person that I met several years ago. She was actually a presenter at our marketing conference. And I was so impressed with her spirit and her energy. And we've been following her success. And what I've been so impressed about with her is that, sometimes when you're new to Minnesota, and maybe your English isn't as good, especially with our Latino folks, you're kind of intimidated. You could be, and maybe even intimidated with the work you would do on that board about expressing yourself. But that didn't seem to bother Elba Gile Garza, our first recipient. It didn't bother her at all because, excuse me, I have a sore throat cold tonight, but bear with me. It didn't bother her at all. And what I've seen so far is this woman's everywhere. She's on so many boards and so many different mentorships. But you know what? When she gets committed, she works hard at that. She's changing stereotypes. She's impressing the general market community. And this just a quick bio. Gilly was born in Mexico, moved to Minnesota in 2001, and had a prior career, 20-year career in technology. She's an award-winning 12-year realtor and founder of the Garza Legacy Group and of NAREP Twin Cities, the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, the Minnesota chapter. I went to their launch. I was very, very impressed with this organization, and I became a media partner immediately. And I still am to this day. I think they're one of the most important organizations we've had here in the cities. Elba has been a wonderful partner and member with NAREP, the Women's Council of Realtors Twin City Metro, Minnesota Association of Realtors, the St. Paul Association Area of Realtors, and she's won many, many awards. Can we have those photos, Steve, with the, yeah, it's just one, yeah, here she is, accepting so many challenges. And it's been amazing watching Elba as she continues to, I just talked to her a few minutes ago, she just came from another meeting, of course. And why not, right? And but this is the kind of person that we need here in the cities to carry a message that yes, we're here, yes, we love Minnesota, but we want to give back. We want to participate. It's a great message, and it's real. And the people I mentioned, Amalia and Sandy and these people, they're known nationally for their efforts. So at this time, it gives me a pleasure to bring up our first recipient, Elba Gilly Garza. In recognition of a remarkable Latino realtor for your exceptional volunteer service and profound commitment to the entire real estate community. Through countless hours of volunteering and mentorship, you have empowered Latino colleagues and strengthened the fabric of your professional associations. Also for your dedication, extending well beyond your personal success, has enriched numerous realty organizations with expertise, passion, and unique perspective. Therefore, with the appreciation and respect of the Latino community in Minnesota, this commendation is presented to Elba Gile Garza, founder, Garza Legacy Group. Elba, congratulations.
Wow, when you see all those together, it's like, okay, we're moving forward. Thank you so much, Aguilar Production, Richard Aguilar, because he's not only recognizing my professional work in real estate, but also all the work that I do behind scenes. And it's an honor for me because even if we are working, doing the real estate and trying to make a living, we're trying to leave a legacy. We're trying to work for all these people who cannot have a seat at the table. I always tell people, I'm gonna grab the chair and I'm gonna go to those tables. Why? Because it's my job to provide and all the real estate agents and other people that seat that nobody inviting us. But we are great enough to grab the chair and make a place for us. And also, through all my job with Minnesota Realtors, the Association of St. Paul, Association of Minneapolis, Women's Council of Realtors, and of course, NAREP, the National Association of Realtors of Real Estate Professionals. That chapter gave me the next step. But it is not just about me, it's about the people who is around me. It is the people who is with me. Nobody can succeed alone, and we know that. And I know that I'm been escalating a lot of steps because of the people who is with me. And this recognition is for them, because without them, I would never get all this recognition that I'm getting. And sometimes I feel so proud, but at the same time, I want to give them back. Why? Because this team is the one who make things possible. About homeownership, we have to create spaces. We have to create generational wealth. We have to do all those things, yes. But the only thing to do it is collaborating, is being together. A lot of people say, having a house is a dream. I name it, it is a process. Because we have to teach, we have to be financially responsible, and that's what we teach our kids, or youth people. And homeownership is for all generations, not just new people, not just youth people. And I want to tell you something quickly. I know. I was helping a lady, almost 60 years old, and she said, Guille, I want to buy a house. And I look at her and I'm like, okay, let's make it happen. And she said, I've been living in the US for 40 years, and I don't know the feel of having a house. And that get me thinking, how we want to make this happen. She's almost retired, and she's looking for a loan, 30 years loan. So we make it happen. And the table, for the closing table, and when you give the last paper to the people that is the promise of paying the mortgage for 30 years, she started laughing so hard, then everybody looking at her, and it's like, okay, what's going on? She was laughing harder and harder until I say, okay, what's going on? And she say, I can't believe it, I'm doing this. I'm signing a promise. Then I'm not gonna do it. But I said, I want to join, and let's see who paid the mortgage. And she was so happy. Couple weeks later, I visit her, and she say, "Thank you, because it's the most beautiful feeling to own my own home after living more than 30 years in the US. So that's why we are here, to make dreams happen, to a process, helping people to move forward. And I always gonna thank you, all the people who is with me, because this is not gonna be possible without them. I thank you, NAREP, all the board, because they are great. We have the same mission. And even if I'm in front, I'm never alone. I always have a great team. And if you hear about, there is a quote that Denzel Washington say all the time: if you wanna fail forward, because at least you wanna see what is the next step. So I tell you all the time, to everybody who's around me, let's fail forward, because then we're doing progress. Thank you so much.
Well, that's Elba, and you can feel that that energy. And of course, she doesn't stand alone. There's so many examples of leadership, and I think that one of the things that I've been impressed with is the fact that these organizations are growing. NAREP, Leader Com, and a lot of other wonderful groups that we're seeing in front of us. Now, the next recipient, this is very interesting. Again, wanted to share some history here in Minnesota. The Chicano Latino Affairs Council in Minnesota has a history rooted in advocating for the Latino community. And some of you in the room know about this history. It originated as the Spanish-speaking Affairs Council in 1978, and it was renamed CLAC in 1996. But imagine having this group start with the legislation. This group was supposed to report to the governor and to all the legislators about the origins of the Latinos, their issues, how we can help them, how they can help us. And we only had 40,000 Latinos in the state at that time. 40,000. And it was so split up. They were mostly in the cities, but yet, through the efforts of Jose Trejo, we were able to get this signed into legislation. And it's turned out to be just an important group for us. Its role was to act as a liaison between the Latino community and the state government, advising the governor and legislators on issues such as employment, education, and social services. In 2015, the council was restructured and renamed the Minnesota Council of Latino Affairs, continuing its core mission to inform and empower the Latino community through policy analysis, research, and community outreach. And so today we're honoring just an amazing woman who has been on the staff, was interim director, and then was actually selected to be the director. And that's a challenging job, ladies and gentlemen. If you know the history, those executive directors have not had it easy. I'm telling you. Us Latinos now, we can get a little contentious once in a while. And I'll tell you, there was more scalps asked for in that organization than anything I can remember. But yet, that was the challenge. Who could become the director, withstand the intimidation, the challenges, And then you're working with a community that mostly immigrant, maybe 40%, English-speaking capability is not there. Yeah, it's been a real amazing ride. Today, we're at 350,000 Latinos. More organized than ever. I'm born and raised here. My parents from Michoacan came here in the 30s. But so we needed a person in that role who could be bipartisan, working with these groups, Mexicanos, Puerto Ricans. That's how we see bipartisan. Guatemala, yeah, and yet Rosa Talk managed to do that. And I might not know the whole history of how that's been working out, but I've heard she's done an amazing job in the fact that she is liked by everyone. And she knows what I mean. She was there with our dear friend Hector Garcia when he was the chair. I think he wore a helmet to the office. It was tough times, but he was an amazing man. Let me read a bit about Rosa. Rosa Talk is the executive director of the Minnesota Council on Latino Affairs. Her work in the council involves leading the council and advancing the legislative priorities of the Latino community-driven agenda. Rosa has been a resident of St. Paul since 2005. Originally from Guatemala, she came to Minnesota and earned a master's degree in public policy. Her professional experience includes policy analysis and management in government, nonprofits, and academia, both in Minnesota and Guatemala. She was also a 2910 policy fellow at the Humphrey School and worked on a group project focused on reducing health care inequities. She was a participant in the 2005 Latino Lead program that just finished. But again, Rosa, there was an election that took place, and I was encouraging my state legislators to vote for Rosa, and I'm so glad that we did. She's done an amazing, amazing work. And so at this time, we'd like to bring up our recipient of the La Familia Latino Heritage Award 25, Rosa Talk. Let me read this to you, Rosa. In recognition of dedicating your career to uplifting and empowering the Latino community and your personal commitment to creating opportunity and ensuring that every voice was heard. Also, as the director of the Minnesota Council of Latino Affairs, your vision was the guiding force behind initiatives that provided vital resources, championed cultural pride, and built bridges toward a more equitable future. Your selfless service and tireless passion will leave a legacy that will continue to resonate for years to come. Therefore, with the appreciation and respect of the Latino community in Minnesota, this commendation is presented to Rosa Talk, Executive Director, Minnesota Council on Latino Affairs. Rosa, congratulations.
Wow, thank you so much, Rick. I'm very humbled by this recognition. It was a big surprise for me. And so I'm speechless. I'm speechless because when we do the work that we do in public service, like Guille said, there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. And there's many processes as well to get bills passed, to get policy analyzed, and to get into the community and learn more about what are the important issues that most affect us as Latino communities in the state, and then inform back to the legislature, to the policymakers, to the office of the governor, what are the issues that really impact us, but also what are the solutions that come from all of you, from our communities across the state. And that takes a lot of time, a lot of energy. And like Guille said, we couldn't be here and we wouldn't be here without the support of our communities, without the work that we do intentionally by focusing on our communities and be the best people to represent them where the decisions are made. And I'm very honored because, as Rick said, and I want to thank you not only because you are putting this great event for 22 years, so let's thank Rick because he's an institution in the Latino community. And for somebody like me who comes from Guatemala in 2005, I've been only here for 20 years, and I know that there are a lot of people who have come before me, not only in this position, but in the community. I'm very conscious that I stand on the shoulders of Latinos who have preceded me, Latinas who have preceded me, and people like Rick Aguilar and others who have tried to build a strong community, not only in the business sector, but in other fields. And that's very important to build that intergenerational wealth. And talking about a little bit of the history, I'm very glad that my colleague and friend Mario Hernandez is here because he's part of that history of the Chicano Latino Affairs Council. And who would have known that I would have met him being a student of my husband? It's amazing. So what I'm saying here is that there are so many stories, so many experiences that interwove, and that shows how important our communities are, but most important than that, how important it is that we can work across cultures, how important it is that we need to understand ourselves across cultures and different experiences. Because again, I'm an immigrant from Guatemala, and I'm here. And like Rick said, I've tried to see our communities from a very broad perspective, from a pan-Latino American perspective, US Latino perspective, and sometimes it is difficult. But I think that I've been able to do that, again, because I've been able to know the stories, to know the experiences, and to know what's important and what are the common traits that for Latino communities are important at the policy level. And I can name 4 or 5 where everybody here, whether you're from Guatemala, Mexico, you were born here with roots in Mexico, but you are maybe 4th or 5th generation, or from Colombia, or from all of these countries, we have many things in common that brings us together, more than the language, or more than being bilingual or monolingual, or whatever it is. We can find consensus, and we can find also common things that moves us along across bipartisan lines. And that's something that I have enjoyed and I have appreciated from Rick Aguilar, where we will have maybe differences on many issues, but we have always had very respectful conversations. We have had dialogues. We have had areas where we are able to think together and question together, and the respect is there. And that's something that we need nowadays. And you know that. We need that kind of understanding across not only the cultural diversities that we have, because they are not cultural divides. They are diversity and they are rich, as well as the ideas. Ideas are important, and even when they are not the same ideas that you have, they are important and they move us forward. They move us forward. And so I'm very honored by that. And I'm also very honored by the other recipients, because when we see, can I take another minute?
Oh, sure.
when we see the recipients, you start thinking about what the foundation for that well-being or that wealth is, right? having a house and that process. And that's super important. That's super important for them enjoying the arts, enjoying other things that come along when you have met your most important needs, and one of them being a house, right? And then the safety. The safety is important for all of us. I'm not going to tell you about that, but it's important, and having that trust in the people who are going to serve us to provide that safety is important. And the arts, as I said, I'm a fan of movies, and the Latino festival here is amazing in the Twin Cities too. This is a jewel, and it's something that we wouldn't be able to live without. And finally, government serving all of you. And if I have been able in these 9 years that I've been in the agency, plus 3 before, 12 years, in this agency, and if I have been able to serve you as a public servant in one way or the other, I can feel very satisfied, and I thank you for that. Thank you.
When we thought of presenting these awards, having been involved in civic affairs here in the Twin Cities for 4 decades, I've always thought, if you have an award program, you have to let the recipients speak. I've been to too many award shows where there's they announce the award, and sometimes the person doesn't get that opportunity. It's been wonderful hearing both of you tonight, and that's what we wanted to bring to La Familia. And speaking of safety, I've made sure that when we have these award shows, that we honor our first responders, our military, because they are so important as we look at our changing country here. The challenges have never been greater. I generally, being a Vietnam veteran myself, thank you. I've always respected the Latinos throughout history. A young brother, my brother, Rudy Aguilar, 16 years old, my family arrived here from Michoacan, Mexico, in St. Peter, Minnesota. They were going to work on a farm. A farmer befriended him, and he was going to work there, along with my other 2 brothers, Paul and Arthur. And the war broke out. My brothers didn't speak English. They were 16, 17, and 19. They went and volunteered to fight for this country. My father told them that if we lose this war, we have to go back to Mexico. This will not be our country. Imagine. My brothers went and served. My brother was wounded in the Battle of the Bulge. Art survived the war, and so did Paul. And, they came back and they lived a wonderful life here, the American dream. Beautiful home, they raised great families. And I think when we see the Latinos who are serving now in the police force, in the peace officers, I'm so proud of what they do. Excuse me. So tonight we're keeping our promise to always honor our peace officers. And now as we look at our new era of police departments, where Latinos are the leaders, where Latinos are the chief of police. And it's amazing. It's a big transformation. It was really led by Pam Berrigan here. Pam, stand up, Pam, just a second. Pam, yeah. Pam was the St. Paul Police Department, and she recently went on in her career, but she was a deputy police chief for the city of St. Paul. What an honor, Pam. Yeah. And your organization, the National Latino Peace Officers Association, it's an amazing organization. I'm a big follower, a big supporter, and they're doing. We recently had Jose Peleas. Jose, stand up, Chief of Police, St. Charles, Minnesota. Congratulations, Jose, and I hope I'm welcome. I got some parking tickets I have to settle with you. I'll give you a call on that. And then Pam Steyer, who couldn't be with us, but Chief of Police, LeSueur, Minnesota. The woman, she's just amazing, amazing talents. And today we keep that tradition alive tonight. We're going to be honoring a gentleman that is the Chief of Police of North St. Paul, Minnesota. And I think of the National Latino Peace Officers Association. Oh, thank you. I mean, is that wine or is that white wine? Oh, I didn't get any wine. Okay. I think of a peace officer we just lost. Peace Officer Rodriguez, I believe, was that the accident in White Bear Lake. Yeah. Well, what was her name, Pam? Beverly Rodriguez. Somebody have for Beverly. We lost Beverly, but just an amazing woman, but an amazing organization, a national organization. So today we're very pleased to honor Ray Rosales, who is again the Chief of Police in North St. Paul. Here's Ray and his lovely bride, and yeah. Do we have some other? Here we go. Here's with the crew. There's our organization, yeah. Well, Ray grew up in St. Paul's Frogtown neighborhood with his very supportive and loving mother, Rita, Father Ray, sisters Laura, Lene, and brother Richard. He has 3 beautiful and amazing children, Elena, Ray, and Briella. He shares his life and is supported by mother, Gina. Chief Rosales began his career with the North St. Paul Police Department in 2014 as a sworn officer. Since that time, he served as a patrol officer, detective sergeant, investigation sergeant, acting chief of police, and public information officer. He has served in a number of specialty positions throughout his career, including field training officer, program coordinator. He was recognized with the Merit Service Award 2024 and a Leadership Award in 2023 and a Heart of Service Award. Chief Rosales is a graduate of Concordia University in St. Paul, where he holds a master's degree in criminal justice leadership and a Bachelor of Arts degree in criminal justice. He also completed the Minnesota Chief of Police Leadership Academy and is a member of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome with a big hand the Chief of Police of North St. Paul, Minnesota, Ray Rosales. Ray. Ray, in recognition for being selected as the police chief of North St. Paul, Minnesota. Your historic appointment is a monumental achievement, not only for your police department, but for the city and residents. You will undoubtedly inspire a new generation of leaders, creating a more inclusive, representative future. Also, your journey is a powerful testament to the American dream, a path forged with unwavering dedication and hard work. You are a source of pride. Therefore, with the appreciation and respect of the Latino community in Minnesota, this commendation is presented to Raymond Rosales, Chief of Police, the City of North St. Paul, Minnesota. Ray, congratulations.
Bring that down a little. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying this evening. Thank you, Mr. Aguilar. It's a real honor to be here tonight, and I'm deeply humbled to receive this award. I certainly feel selfish being up here by myself because there's so many people that have guided me and supported me and are constantly by my side throughout my personal and professional life. I want to thank my family, who Mr. Aguilar mentioned. Without them, I certainly wouldn't be in this position that I am today. Being the chief of police is a challenging position, especially in today's climate. But these folks are my family and my rock. So I thank them for being here tonight and supporting me. I want to thank the North St. Paul Police Department. When I became the chief of police with this agency, I was fortunate enough to inherit a group of men and women who all have an incredible passion for not only working in law enforcement, but working together as a family. And that's a huge, huge combination. This combination projected an incredible cultural shift within our organization. It influenced everyone on our team to become better leaders individually and reach our diverse community members with a family-like approach. They all should be up here right on stage with me right now, actually. I want to thank the National Latino Police Officers Association for being by my side along the way ever since I started on patrol and have been a member with them since. Their support with the North St. Paul Police Department and myself is constant. Some members are here tonight, and it seems like they are the epitome of the law enforcement family. And I'm truly grateful for them and glad they welcome me into their organization. La Familia is such a great name for this celebration because it encompasses so many aspects of what it is we as law enforcement professionals and agencies strive to accomplish in building strong community relationships. Cultural immersion, honor and recognition, community engagement, enjoying diverse experiences, and of course, family focus. Mr. Aguilar, Aguilar Productions, and the La Familia Heritage, I accept this award on behalf of the North St. Paul Police Department, and we promise to continue making strategic efforts in building our community as well as surrounding communities together as family in true La Familia heritage fashion. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I was going to make a remark about Mario because I think you had a lot of scars from from Clack back in the years. I remember you were one of the main members of that organization for years. Again, another challenge and issue for Latinos. And what is it about? Well, here, as we talk about and to honor our last recipient, there's wide discussions going on as we look at Hispanic Heritage Month about the lack of visibility to Latinos in Hollywood, in television, in movies. We're not there, and I'm not the only one. They go online. Our organizations are talking. Our Latino leaders, and it's an issue. Yet we go to movies twice, almost 15 or 20% more than the general market. In fact, with the COVID, Latinos are leading the way in reviving going to the theater. We spend so much money streaming the movies, but yet we're not visible. This is the dialogue going on as we speak. And we've gained some honors over the years. I think for a while there, I think 3 years in a row, we had the best directors were Latinos. In fact, a couple of Democrats were talking about securing the border because we had too many Latino from Mexico winning the directors of the year. Yeah, but so we've been there, but as far as visibility, yes, I think there's an issue. I think there's not enough stories about Latinos, but here in Minnesota, we are so fortunate to have the Cine Latino Film Festival. Thank you. Yes. And I have some memories, Steve, if you will. I have some memories of a festival, and we'll just leave it on there, Steve, for a minute. I went to the 2019 Cine Latino Film Festival, and they had a movie there, or a documentary that I was interested in seeing, and other films, obviously too, because there's so many good films. But it was The Last Zapatistas, and if you look at the history of Latinos that are known by the general market, he's one of them, because Emiliano Zapata was a revolutionary icon. And he's a little guy, he's 5'7". They said he's a giant of his time. And there he is, he's a dashing son of a gun, isn't he? Emiliano Zapata. The next one, but here, and who played him in the movies? Well, Marlon Brando, of course. Well, who else would you have? Brad Pitt? No, Marlon Brando. And there's Emiliano Zapata right there. Those were tough times in Mexico. And there were wonderful movies, the movies about the Revolution Wars. As a young man, we'll leave it on this for a second, Steve. As a young man in the first community where the west side of St. Paul, the Flats, is where the Latinos settled. That's where we were. And we had our own movie theater. It was run by a Jewish gentleman. But we had our own theater. And on Thursdays, they would show the Mexican movies, if you will. And our dads would grab us, and we'd all go, and you would see Cantinflas and Tintan. And then you would have all these wonderful movies about the Revolution Wars, man. It was crazy. We didn't understand what they were saying. But, yeah. Oh, I'm not fluent in Spanish. But we grew up in a Jewish community, by the way, the West Side Flats. But the next one here, here's what happened. I went, and the grandson of Emiliano Zapata was there. Here he is right now. Here's the man. He's an amazing guy. I've got his name here. Let me read it to you. It's a beautiful name. Don Manuel Manrique Zapata. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. How about a hand? Yeah. And he was, I had a moment to have a couple of beers with him. He loved his beer, by the way. I had a moment to, and he was an aggressive, articulate person about the government and about things in Mexico. You know, really enchanting gentleman. But I have that history, and here he is with the gang there. You might recognize some of the people. These are the lovely people that come to the Cine Festival. And, you know, I think that we're so fortunate to the MSP of Film Society and their efforts to actually bring these movies to fruition, to bring them to a point where not only Latinos can go, the general market can go and look at these wonderful films. And we're going to actually take a look at some of the movies that are going to be playing this year, the 13th annual. Let's take a brief look here at some of the things happening that you'll have happening. Here's the marquee, the wonderful theater. Yeah. Hi. Well, it's Rico. Funny he would be there. Okay, here's some of the folks. This is Frankenstein that's going to be playing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's the Cine Latino Film Festival. You know, I have to just bring up this year, 2018. 2018 was a great year, but we sat and watched the movie Roma. Little did we know, you know, generally when you see a movie that goes on to win 3 Academy Awards, you would remember, you would leave the theater thinking about the movie. And for me, my wife's from Mexico City. That was her house. That was the dog that they'd clean up on after. And that was the housemaids they had. You know, beautiful. There was so many memories. We would, our kids would go there during the winter, and that's how they learned their perfect Spanish. But I left the theater thinking about that movie. And when it became a hit and reached Netflix, I believe, and it became, and what a perspective on Mexico City. And it was a great movie. And then I guess it was showed a lot in streams and everything. But that happened for me at the Cine Film Latino. A beautiful, beautiful time, beautiful memory. I'll be there again this year. So fortunately, as it stands now, the chair of the Cine Latino Film Festival is our friend Paola Nunez Obetz. She's the chair and is a tireless liaison for artists in the community, as well as an avid supporter of education and the arts. She has chaired several boards in the Twin City community, including Joyce Nonprofit Preschool. It's a great, great organization. Of course, the MSP Film Society and Cine Latino. In her role as chair of these organizations, she has helped secure scholarships for low-income Latino families, raise funds for diversity and inclusion programming, and increased audience engagement and attendance in the arts. Originally from Quito, Ecuador. Is there any Ecuadorians here? Yeah, here we go. Of course. Paola has a BA in Latin American and Chicano Studies from the University of Minnesota. Do you ever use the word Chicano in Ecuador? I don't believe so. No. She has a degree from a technology degree in fashion design from, am I pronouncing this right? Dismod Institute in Ecuador. She has worked as a Spanish teacher, a medical interpreter, a real estate investor in the Twin Cities, and is fluent in several languages. In her free time, Paola is a dance fanatic, independent film lover, and nature walker. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, let's have a hand for the chair of the Cine Latino Film Festival, Paola Nunez Obitz. I'll read this to you, Paola. In recognition of Cine Latino Film Festival, a cinematic celebration that champions the rich tapestry of Latino life, values, and contributions. Beyond a simple showcase of movies, it is a cultural touchstone that spotlights the diverse stories, immense beauty, and rich histories of Latin American, U.S. Latino, and Ibero communities. Also for presenting an essential platform for emerging and acclaimed Latino filmmakers. Thanks to the wonderful efforts of the MSP Film Society, the board of directors, staff, and supporters who have presented this successful festival for the past 13 years, much to the delight of thousands of festival attendees. Therefore, with the appreciation and respect of the Latino community in Minnesota, this accommodation is presented to Cine Latino Film Festival. Congratulations, Paula. Where's Rico? Where's Rico? Oh, here he is.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Richard and La Familia, for this honored. I feel honored to be surrounded by all these achieving professionals and people in the community that are making a difference each step of the way. Cine Latino started 13 years ago, and I was there. I was there as one of the people in the community reaching to the Film Society and sharing that we want to see more films about us, more films that bring our stories. And it was the vision of our executive director and the programmers to make it happen and to create a festival just dedicated to our cinema from Latin America and the Iberian Peninsula, and it's been happening for 13 years. And let me tell you, I know we have a human body, right? Physical body that we need to nurture. There is something else we need to nurture, and I'm going to tell you, so like in actuality, feeding that inner self of ourselves with artistic inspiration, it really fulfills, and it brings you to become part of something bigger. And every human deserves that. Every human being. And in my personal experience, art has inspired my family, has inspired me, and is a catalyst of change, of activism, resistance, and creativity. I remember when I was raising my kids in the harder years, when they're teenagers, my older girl had no issues, embracing her, speaking Spanish and feeling, really proud. My youngest child also spoke Spanish, but he chose to speak English in the house, because it was easier, And I always was like, what can I do? And I remember I took him to watch one of the films at the Film Society. I said, come with me. It was a film about the rainforest. He was 12. He was like, do I have to? I said, yes. We watched that film, and we were captured in the middle of the rainforest and the chanting and the tradition. And he came out of there and he said, Mom, can you send me to Ecuador every summer? And he started to do that. He speaks great Spanish and is really proud of his culture. So please help us continue inspiring youth and adults. Come to Cine Latino, find this card, and in the back there is a little QR code where you can see all the films. So we can laugh together, we can cry together, we can be scared together. Films for all audiences and for any taste. So muchas gracias.
We're going to ask that all of the award recipients hang around. We're going to get some photos. And all you beautiful people, you're not going to leave here without your photo. Rico's locking the door. Where's Rico? Oh, there he is. Yeah, you always got to wonder where Rico is. But so guard the door, Rico. Nobody leaves without a photo. Because we have one of our sponsors, Latino American Today. I know the owner and publisher. He's not a bad guy. He's a Republican, but he's a good guy. That's me. Yeah. But we're going to have a full page or more of, because I'm the publisher, we might have 3 pages of pictures. And I want you to be in the pictures, and I'm going to be in the pictures with you. So you can always remember your experience here. Hey, what a wonderful night. I feel after 22 years of these awards, I feel such a encouragement about our community. I really do. All these wonderful people that we've honored, they've earned what they've done. It's challenging, really, to try to accomplish more than people that have. Maybe you've stayed in your community and you haven't reached out, but you're still, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's the others that say, I want to join this organization, and I want to be a leader, and I want them to know who we are, and I want the community to, much like when I was on the Girl Scouts. When I joined the Girl Scout board, it was a friend of mine. It was an Anglo woman, a very powerful business owner that I knew. And she said, Rick, I'm going to put you on the Girl Scout board because we need more Latino kids to experience this wonderful organization. And it is a wonderful experience. And I took up the challenge because that's what I do. I mean, I was already thinking, of course, let me get on there. And I'll tell you, the first meeting was very tricky. The Girl Scouts was mainly an upper class, upper middle class leadership women. And they challenged me. Why do we need more Latinos? Why? And fortunately, for me, there was a attorney, a Jewish attorney that was on and he stood up, and even before I did, and he just gave a strong message. Today, that chapter is one of the leading Girl Scout chapters in the country for diversity. So there are, and a lot of lovely Latino kids just enjoy the hell out of that thing. It's just so much fun. I go to a lot of their events. Anyway, so for us, it's been amazing doing the awards. Good news, I just got the okay from U.S. Bank. They'll be our presenting sponsor again next year. So, yeah. So we're back at them. We're back at them next year. Now, my main course of business has been, of course, our Hispanic marketing conferences. We just completed 29 years. Is that Steve? Is that award there? Good news to everyone. Yeah, here's an award we just received from the North Central Minority Supplier Development Association. very, very, very great group of people. But they talk about the fact that we've been producing multicultural marketing conferences for 29 years here in the cities. And I guess according to Rico just saw something online, that we're the last standing and the only Latino-owned company doing this in the country, an annual event here. And you were all at our last event, Gary Acosta. Was it wonderful or not? Folks, what a great event. What a great event. So we bring together here the leading Latino marketing agencies right here, the CEOs right here. They tell, and they're accessible people, very accessible. And so you get a chance to meet them. They tell you and talk to you about insights and strategies, how to reach the Latinos. And of course, we do Asian, and we do African and emerging African marketing. So we'll be back. It'll be our 30th anniversary next year. Can you imagine? Boy, yeah, I was a young kid when we started. But it's going to be fun in the sense that we are now in 1997, when we did our first conference, the buying power for Latinos was $260 billion. Today, $3.4 trillion of buying power. Yeah, that's why we're still doing the conferences. Someone asked, why are you still doing them? Well, we went from 260 billion to 3.4 trillion, and that's growing, folks. This is the best business opportunity in the country. As I say in that award, multicultural marketing, the best business opportunity in the country. There are companies that haven't even looked at those markets yet. Can you imagine? And Latinos are waiting to be welcomed. Welcome them, and they will become your consumer. So we'll be back with that message, and we'll also be back with La Familia with other things. And I'd like to give a special thanks to a gentleman that has been with me since we started. He came to our first conference. He actually paid to get in. Rico, yeah, it's the last time he paid. He said, I'm going to join this guy. Why am I paying? No, but Rico has been a part of our programming here for all these years. I mean, he does amazing things. He'll do the PowerPoints, or he'll do this, or he'll do the computers, or he's guarding the door. No, but just an amazing talent himself. Of course, he has his own agency and everything. So again, it's been a pleasure. Great remarks from our recipients tonight. I think for me, these are the kind of events we need during Hispanic Heritage Month. A little more revealing, a little hearing from our people, learning, and so we'll continue that. Now, I don't want to leave without mentioning a few folks here that are important. Not only in my career, but as friendships. And one of the folks visiting tonight is a dear friend. He's been with me together preaching Hispanic marketing, and he was in the print publication business, and he's here with us tonight, and we're so happy to have Adolfo Rudy Cardona. Rudy. Yeah, Rudy, thank you. Thank you for being here, my brother. Rudy left us for a while. He wanted to go to Florida. He said, I'm going to go to Florida. Everybody's going to Florida. Oh, he's back here. Okay. Yeah, it's hot in Florida. But we're so happy having you back here. I have some family members here. I don't get the chance my family doesn't get a chance to come to some of my gigs. But here they are today. My sister Mona, she's out busy golfing all the time. And my niece Rose Aguilar. Mona, hi. Golfing, Mo, geez. She wants to go home because she has to get up in the morning and watch the Ryder Cup. Okay. I want to speak. What time is it, Rico? Yeah, is it about time? Okay. Anyway, so we'll leave you with that. And just a reminder, there are other Hispanic Heritage Month gigs you want to go to, but I'm going to be at the Cine Latino Film Festival. We have some brochures up here. So Ray, keep guarding us, brother. We need the help. Elba, I know you got more things on your calendar. And Rosa, no, what we didn't say tonight is Rosa is leaving the Latino Affairs Council in October. Well, we don't use the word retire. Yeah. Yeah, interesting story about the term retire. I was at a networking event, and I saw a dear Latino friend of mine who had retired. And I was observing him as people would come up and they'd say, what do you do? He said, well, I'm retired. Well, let me tell you, I grabbed him, I pulled him aside. Listen, retired people aren't sought after at a networking event. He said, Rick, I said, no. And I said it very diplomatically because I love the guy. No. He said, well, what do I use? No, just say you're involved in civic affairs. Yes, you're not. That's the magic word in the Twin Cities, man. They'll talk to you all night. What do? I'm involved in civic affairs. Yeah. And so I observed him about 10 minutes later. I think he had a couple glasses of wine. And he said, hey, I'm Sam. I'm involved in civic affairs. And the guy said, how do you do? Yeah. Anyway, just a little thing about it. So listen, wonderful evening. I feel great. We had a good time. Thank you. And we'll see you soon.